What's up, good people? What's up, good people? What up, chat? What's up, good people? What's up, chat? What up, good people? What's 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 up, good people? It's Dan Smith, Porterhouse, KC, representing. Hoop, hoop. Let's go. All right.
December 16th, and it's beautiful outside.
Man, you lucked up.
Yes, we did.
Normally, it's either freezing out here or a little rainy, or the last one I did, it was snowing. So
I know, and when you asked me to do it, I told you, I was like, I'll do it rain, sleet,
yeah,
ice, whatever.
I know,
Look at us.
but
I pray for this, Dan.
I feel bad inviting folks, because I could do that, right? I could do the rain, sleet, snow, all that good stuff, but I don't, what's up?
What's up?
How are you? Uh-oh.
I'm good.
Your mic dropped.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Do we need to go back and redo it?
Nope. This is a part of the pod.
Okay.
There we go. I gotta take care of LaVon.
Well, my energy.
There we go. All right.
Okay.
Microphone check, 1, 2. What is this? LaVon. It's LaVon. It's LaVon.
I'm on the pod.
Is she on the pod,
I'm
y'all?
on the pod. I'm Convos in the yard, y'all.
In the yard. All right. So, what's up, good people? Dan Smith, Porterhouse, KC, representing Hoop Hoop. Convos in the yard. We got LaVon here, y'all. When I tell you, I've been wanting to get LaVon on here, but we had to make sure it was right? LaVon is like a super supporter of the stuff that we've been doing. I'm a super supporter of what she does. And obviously, first of all, I got to acknowledge the setup difference. So we're facing away from the sun today. So you see the back part. So this is all the yard still, but we reversed it because I didn't want like LaVon having to squint and when we talking and trying to figure out what's going on with the sun and all that good stuff. So it's a little different setup. But anyway, what's up?
What's up?
How are you?
LaVon Colhour, Greater Kansas City Community Foundation, represent. Whoop, whoop.
All right.
I've been wanting to do that.
Whoop, whoop.
I've been wanting to do that.
So you seen the pod. You know how we do it. Normally I go first, but in this situation, I'm gonna actually let you go first because you know how this thing works, right? So I'm gonna let you go first. So we're gonna go into our shout outs first, right? And so this is like, you're gonna give a shout out to, in the last week or so, a couple of folks, team, squad, whatever, that's been doing some dope things that you just want to give props to, give a shout out to.
Okay, but before we do that,
I was waiting for it.
hydrate before you caffeinate.
I'm caffeinated. I hydrated earlier. I'm caffeinating. I'm just saying.
Yes, we have to get that in. That's the first thing. So shout outs this week.
Yeah.
Ooh, how much time we got?
We not on a time crunch.
Okay,
so,
yes we are. Yes we are.
We gonna keep it, we'll keep it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, most recent, I want to give a shout out to you and your team.
Oh, okay.
For the pitch contest on Friday night.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was incredible. Thank you. That was my third pitch contest that I had the opportunity to judge, and some amazing businesses. Y'all need to watch for some amazing small business owners that are coming out of Porterhouse, KC. Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
So shout out to you and the team. Ran,
Sharon,
Maddie, everybody.
Appreciate
Shout out to y'all for Friday night.
Appreciate it.
Shout out to yesterday. Yesterday was woo. I did the racial equity and inclusion training with the Smiths.
Yeah.
Stephanie and Rodney.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I can imagine it's probably a little different now, but I did it probably 7 years ago, and it was like life-changing. One of my good friends, his name is Bill. We haven't talked in a little bit, but I met Bill at that racial equity workshop, and we've stayed connected since then. But it was an amazing,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was an all day. It was just the REI. I've heard people talk about the groundwater training as well.
We just did the
but
REI.
yeah, the
Yeah.
REI. It was so good. I've never taken so many notes. It was so good. So I want to give a shout out to Stephanie and Rodney. Thank you, Sophic Solutions
Love it.
for that day or yesterday,
Yeah.
and then of course shout out to my family.
Yeah.
Jay, Jasmine,
Yeah.
Adam, and of course
Yeah.
the little Xavier.
The little one. The little
yeah,
one.
my
Absolutely.
little mini me.
I love it.
Little mini me. He's like a little sponge. He's just soaking it all up.
If you follow LaVon on her social platforms, you will see the little mini me.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
And
I love
he
it.
is my little mini me. I
love
was
it.
laughing the other day, and I wasn't supposed to be laughing.
Uh-oh.
And I tried to put my sweatshirt over my face, and kept laughing. And then I look over, he's putting his sweatshirt over his face, and he's laughing.
I love that.
So yeah, he's definitely my mini me.
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah, shout out to the fam.
Love it. Love it. Love it. All right.
Yeah.
So I got a few shout outs. First of all, shout out to Startland News because when we do the pod, they actually put the pod in their publication the next day. So they send out a daily publication. But also shout out to the Startland News squad. They actually came to the pitch competition. They rock with us, man, and I just truly appreciate them. They don't have to. No, nobody has to do anything, but we just appreciate that they decide to come. And ours is in the evening, so I know they full day of work, and then just like you, full day of work, and then it's on a Friday too, and then all the things. So shout out to Startland. Shout out to you as a judge for helping us, because I hate. Well, first of all, I couldn't, right? Being a part of the facilitation of the class, for me, it's like, you picking your favorite, you can't do that.
Your favorite child.
Yeah, you can't do that, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Kaufman Foundations for their Uncommon Leader event. Oh my gosh.
That was amazing.
That was on Thursday, the night before our event. I'm taking notes. I'm like, we can't afford to do none of this, but it was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was a dope event. Shout out to the winner. I wasn't familiar with her before Thursday, but after seeing the highlight and the stuff that she's done in the community, looks like it was well deserved. So pretty dope. Shout out to Black Chamber. They actually had their gala on Friday. I wasn't able to attend. I know you left the pitch competition.
I showed up in my fur and my gown for the pitch.
And I reached out to Kim just to let her know, like, it was an unfortunate situation where we had to schedule it for that day specifically because there wasn't any other days. We had folks traveling. I mean, it was just a lot going on, a lot of logistics. So shout out to Black Chamber for their gala. Shout out to Cohort 7 for stepping up to the plate. They did their thing, pitch night. Shout out to the fam, wife, kids. Kids are home from school on break. So the refrigerator has been raided already. So we got used to it, and they said don't get used to it because we back, right?
Back home ballers.
Right, back home ballers, right? So they doing their thing. Wife is ending her semester, or her first semester at school, and I got done, finally finished my grading this morning actually.
All right.
For school. So I'm proud about that. Shout out to the squad, Sharon, Miranda, Maddie. They did a phenomenal job. Shout out to Miranda for she coordinated the whole thing and keeps us all together, and just shout out to her and everybody else. James Bryant too.
Yeah,
all
James
the folks.
was amazing. Yeah.
Shout out to Kev for coming to hang out with us too that night. All right, so moving on.
Okay.
We had a lot of shout outs.
Okay.
All right, so now we limit. So this is the time limiting thing, right? We'll pull back a little bit. So gratitude and intention, right? Something we're grateful for, and something that we intend to do within the next week or so. Okay. Normally we try to keep it like business related or work related or something like that. So one gratitude and one intention. I know it's hard to pick one, but One gratitude and one intention.
So gratitude,
yeah.
and I know this is probably going to sound cliche, but
Uh-oh.
gratitude for my community. Just the outpouring of love and support, and that's what makes me want to love and pour back into my community.
Yeah.
It's just watching everything that is just going on in our community, things that still need to be done.
Yeah.
But just grateful for this amazing community. I just love it so much.
That's
I tell
awesome.
people all the time, don't talk about my Kansas City.
Yeah.
Do not talk about my Kansas City. So yeah, I'm grateful for this community.
Yeah,
you know,
I love
just
that.
the people. Dan, people are what give me energy.
I know.
It's what gives me energy. So just grateful for the community. What was the other? Intentions. Intentions. Yep. Just continuing to be in community and knowing what work still needs to be done.
Okay.
And how I can insert myself in those, either situations or initiatives.
Yeah.
What's going on. Of course, I work at the Greater Kansas City Community Foundation, and community is in our name.
Absolutely.
So that is my intention, is to make sure that I show up in community.
Okay.
So.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Dope. My gratitude, just like I said before, there's a lot of things to be grateful for. But I will say I'm grateful for, I'm truly grateful for my family here, right? But I'm also grateful to be able to have an extended family to go away from Kansas City and get to be able to experience time with others that I love, Got the opportunity. That's why we didn't do a pod last week, because I was in New Orleans, and got the opportunity to spend time with the family down there. My sister-in-law, brother-in-law, got to see my niece and nephew play basketball live for the first time.
Wow.
I've seen them, we've played just in the backyard and, for other gyms or whatnot, just me playing against them and messing around. But I'm never getting to see them play against competitively,
yeah.
Right? And it was dope to see them compete. And then my older niece, she's in a play, but unfortunately we didn't get to see the play because we left right before the actual play. So she was rehearsing all weekend. So she was leaving to go rehearsals, and then she would come back. She was on the hustle and bustle, but it was just cool. It was a cool getaway. It was just the wife and I, and we flew down and flew back, stayed down there about 4.5 days, 5 days almost. Okay. So it was just great. So I'm grateful for that. Intention is to just be able to relax. I texted the squad yesterday. It was like, we're chilling for the next couple weeks. I was like, you guys deserve it. We need it. We need to, because we're going to come back harder and stronger. And so we got to rest. And so that is the intention for the next couple weeks. Now, I still come to work, but it's lowbrow, right?
Yeah.
I'm either doing some computer work or, straightening things up or, just stuff that is mindless things,
Yeah.
KU, got another class coming up next semester, so I'm preparing for that. So, like I said, for the next couple of weeks, my intention is just to chill.
Oh, that's a great way to round out the year.
Yeah, we've been working.
Yeah.
We've been working. We've been trying.
Grinding. I love it. I love seeing everything that is going on with the incubator.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, y'all are grinding.
We trying. All right.
Y'all are.
We are
Y'all
trying.
are.
We are. So, topics of the week. Things that I want to talk about with LaVon.
Okay, come on.
Hey, don't be scared. Don't be nervous. I saw you. I said I look like, okay. First thing I wanted to bring up had Stephen Anthony on a couple of a pod ago, or a couple pods ago.
Steven.
And Stephen was a part of, and we kind of talked about it a little bit during our conversation, but, you know, Class 45.
Oof.
So I want to know, first of all, I want to know what led you to applying or, you know, going through the process to be a part of KCT, what that meant to you and, you know, kind of why.
Yeah.
And then, you know, maybe a couple things about what you got out of it. Because I know, like, for me, it was network. Big thing. You know, I got the opportunity to spend time with people that, you know, I respect and admire from a distance, but not necessarily having the time to, like, really meet, really talk, really learn perspectives and things like that. So that was an awesome opportunity for me with KCT. What was your journey, and what do you feel about, you know, getting what you get out of it?
Whoa, Class 45. I mean, that's like a family.
Yeah.
For me, and y'all know I was like Mama Bear.
Yeah. We needed it. We needed it. We definitely did.
No, y'all didn't. Y'all would have done just fine. But
Nah.
I mean, those are, you know, we've been out of that for what, almost 2 years now, and y'all still my family.
Yeah.
What led me to? I always say, a closed mouth does not get fed.
Yeah.
And you have to ask for what you want. And 2022 March, my mother had just passed. Suddenly. It was, you know, just 5 weeks, and she was gone.
Oh, man.
And for the next few months, you know, I was helping take care of my stepdad. You know, has you know, he's older. And just trying to figure out what my next move was. And then he moved to New Jersey, and then I was really, you know, my daughter's grown, you know, starting her life, her family, and I was like, what's my next move? And I was like, you know what? I think I want to do something in leadership, maybe run for an office or something. And started doing some research on different emerging leader groups. And KCT was mentioned to me, you know, where I was professionally, and I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Same.
I'm like, what's Kansas City tomorrow? And started doing some research, and I couldn't find an application and couldn't find a deadline. And called Civic Council, talked to Consuelo, and she was like, first of all, you have to be invited, and you have to have a sponsor who's on the Civic Council. And I'm like, okay, well, you already missed the deadline. I'm like, okay. But, you know, they were still looking for, you know, candidates to come in. And, you know, I went for the interview, kind of a little intimidated by the interview, you know, there were 10 civic leaders in the room. And I'm like, wow. And then fast forward, you know, 6 weeks later, they were like, hey, you in Class 45, and posted on LinkedIn and was in the Business Journal. And my daughter spotted a person she knew who she went to college with. And that was Cornell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She was like, Mom, I went to school with Cornell. And, you know, and didn't realize, I mean, still at that point, didn't realize how big of a deal it was until I got in the class, because born and raised in Kansas City, I'm like, I know everything about Kansas City. I got in KCT, I'm like, I don't know nothing about Kansas City. It was like PhD in Kansas City. Just the people who came in to speak with us, the the leaders in our community, and just our cohort. You know, just the people that and I think I met you right before we went into KCT. It was at Blip. We met. I was with DP and Ben.
We should introduce.
And DP was like, "You don't know? I thought you knew everybody. You don't know Dan." I'm like, "No, I don't know Dan." And then come to find out, you know, we end up being in
the same
KCT
class together.
Reconnected with an old friend, Bridget Locke.
Oh, that's cool.
Bridget and I used to work. We worked together over 20 years ago. Reconnected in KCT, and we still riding.
Yeah, Bridget dope. Yeah, she's dope.
We still riding. So it's just, and what it has done for me is not only, you know, reconnection with Bridget, meeting. I think there was one, Nicole. I had known her from working with her.
Okay.
In the corporate setting at the community foundation.
Yeah.
But I really didn't know a whole lot of people, but it introduced me to a whole new group of people and, you know, what they're doing in the community. And I'm all about, I always say, I'm going to be that one at my funeral that they're going to say, she made everybody feel like they were her best friend.
Yeah.
Because that's,
it's
you
true.
know, people just, I just love being around people. So KCT, that was just a whole new family opportunities, which led me, you know, to wanting to put myself out there more instead of like, okay, I'm not worthy to be at those tables or, you know, I'm like, I can walk into that room and shine like everybody else. So, yeah, that's what it gave me, the confidence to really put myself out there.
Yeah.
And which I think has helped me in my role at the community foundation, you know, as we are out and about.
Because you got promoted like right. It was during the time that.
It was right after.
Oh, right after. Yeah.
We graduated in June.
Yeah.
In October, I was promoted to
Okay.
Vice President of Community Engagement, which was not a role at the Community Foundation. And, you know, as I saw the different spaces that I could be in, you know, I went to our president and CEO, Debbie Wilkerson, and said, you know, okay, I want more.
Yeah.
I want to be out in the community more.
Yeah.
I want to lift our visibility in the community. And she was like, okay, what's that look like?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay. So I went to the drawing board and here I am over a year later, you know, sitting in that VP role and just loving on this community.
I love it.
You know, the good, the bad, the not so good. Yeah.
I mean, we and the thing is, you know, the good and the challenging.
Yes.
Right.
That's a good way to put it,
because we want to try to get through those challenges. You know what I mean, as best as we can. So to keep being great. You know. So kind of similar. I'd never heard about the. Well, I knew of the Civic Council, but I hadn't heard about KCT. And you know, I initially, when I heard about, you know, I got like you said, you had to be invited, and so when I got invited, you know, I couldn't really, like you said, same thing, trying to find a lot, you know, not a whole bunch, and then I thought about the Centurions, right, and this is not a versus whatever. But I had already said, you know, because of my corporate experience and how leadership development was, I had put it out my mind that I wanted to do any type of leadership development, anything, right? Like the Centurions, KCT, any of those things. And I had a conversation with Kokithia, and it changed my mind, right? It changed my mind. And so went forward with the process, but then it was the recommendation letter. It was you have to get a recommendation from an active member. And so, funny enough, I actually had just started a board at St. Luke's Hospital.
Okay.
And Wendy Giles, for the CEO of Kaufman Foundation at that time, was on the board. And I didn't know her. We didn't know each other like that. But we had received Kaufman support. But I reached out to her. I was like, hey, you kind of know the work that we're doing a little bit, you know, it sounds familiar. I'm trying to do this thing. I know you're a former KCT, you know, whatever. She's like, absolutely. So she actually wrote me a letter of recommendation. So that was my letter of rec. And it was right after she was transitioning out of her position at Kaufman that I got that recommendation letter. So, and it's same. It was just, I mean, it was a lot of things that I knew about Kansas City already. But it was great. Like I said, my thing was the exposure to all the other things that were happening. The things that I did, like I didn't understand like Port KC and the position they play, and I didn't understand EDC as much and the role and position they played. And after, you know, being able to participate, I learned more. It made me want to dive in. So all those things. But yeah.
I want to add, so you the other piece that I got out of KCT, which this will make you very happy, and I may have told you this before. So I feel like God is tug. Actually, I know God is tugging at my heartstrings. You know, I'm a spiritual woman. I'm a woman of
absolutely.
faith, and I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. And you and I've had some deep conversations about, you know, me starting a business, and I've tried a couple times.
Sure.
And being in KCT and learning, so it was the session, and I think you presented at that session.
Yeah.
Brandon, Tyler Enders, Brian Roberts. And I did not, and Casey SourceLink. That was, I think that was that roadmap.
The
of
resources,
Casey SourceLink. And realizing that there's so many resources available for entrepreneurs. And both times that I, you know, tried to start a business, or actually one I did. One of them I did start, and you know, it was, but I was doing everything. I was doing everything, soup to nuts.
Yeah.
Everything, you know, I was the president and CEO, and I'm changing the toilet paper roll. I was doing everything, and I didn't know that there were resources available for me. And so now I'm like, I'm on this journey. I know I'm going to turn 58 next month. And somebody said, that's Derek Thomas's year. That's his number.
Happy early birthday. Yeah.
January 9th, I will be 58.
Love
and
it.
I'm like, okay, I'm 58. I'm not too old. You know, you're never too old. And I was like, okay, I'm ready to try this again. I'm ready to try it again. I've had so many, you've been a big supporter. There's been a lot of people in the community that I've, you know, kind of mentioned this to, you know, as a side hustle to start off, you know, because I love the work that I do at the Community Foundation. But I do want, you know, something and actually, you know, something more. I want something more. I want, if my family wants it, if my grandson wants it, a legacy. So that was one thing that I got out of KCT is that, you know, is that there are resources available. You don't have to do this by yourself.
We just got an email, so I'm glad you said that, because we just got an email yesterday, was it this morning? That we got an email about the board, about the state board service states of Missouri and Kansas.
I already picked one.
I picked one too. And but it's because of so I sit on the board at Hogan Preparatory Academy, and I'm seeing like the inner workings and kind of how the state is involved, and you know, all these different processes and whatnot. And I see there's a need for representation on these state boards from all these different areas. But anyway, that was a big thing that, you know, because I know that civic engagement and responsibility is important, but you always wonder, how can you be a part, or how can you help, or how can you, you know, help continue to make change that you want to see, even from that level. And I think that was something that was eye-opening for me, in that you know, that was the thing, the civic responsibility that just really tugged at me. But you know, Stephen was going to run for mayor. I mean, we had.
I was going to run for city. Actually, that's not off the table, but it's going to be a while.
Running for city council. I mean, we got a lot of folks that's doing, you know, that could and can do some amazing things. But like, all you need is that extra push to get out there and do it. And sometimes those leadership development places are.
Well, our
we
new
need to do it.
President of the Civic Council, Floyd.
Came out of 45. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, 45. Yep.
I know. We got some heavy hitters. That's why I was like, you know, how do we come together? But like you said, God, you know, puts things in places that you've never even thought about, and it comes together, and you're just like, all you can do is say thank God. You know what I mean?
I do every morning. Like I told you, you asked me the question before we started, is, you know, that I'm always positive. And there are days I have my challenges, but it's like, who cares? I mean, I care, but it's like, you don't know what other people are going through. And, you know, I do my post on Instagram
Yeah.
every morning, and that's more for me.
Yeah.
That's more for me. And if I can lift up somebody else, one person, then I feel like I've done God's work for,
Love
you
that.
know, not for the day, for the hour, or whatever
Sure.
you want to look at. But it's just, there's so much in the world. And it's like, if I
Yeah.
can bring a little bit of light
Yeah.
or sunshine to somebody else, even if it's just me. My husband,
You
he'll
do
walk
it.
by and I'll be cracking up at myself.
Yeah.
He's like, you
And
are
he's
really,
looking
I'm
like, what's up? Yeah.
he giggles too, because he gets a kick out of
That's
watching
awesome.
me.
Yeah.
So that, I just want to bring joy to the
love it.
world.
I love it. I love it. So that's actually going to be, so we got this thing called, and this is kind of, we just came up with this, I think the last pod that we did, something called a tangible tip, right? And so what a tangible tip is like, I want our viewers to be able to walk away from watching the episodes with something that they can like sink their teeth into, right? So obviously this is a good opportunity for us to like explore, I selfishly love it because I get to learn more about my friends and people that I really respect and love, but others that are watching, they might not be able to obviously get obviously they're not getting that same benefit. So I want them to be able to walk away with something, and I'm calling it tangible tips.
Okay.
But what I want to try to dive into a little bit is you spoke about this before, and I know we've had some conversations in the past about this, but the seat at the table, right? I feel like the seat at the table, it meant something to you. Even when we were in KCT. I'm a rebellious person, so when I'm in there, I'm just like, "What's up? What you got? What we doing?"
Woo,
woo woo, right? Not. Oh man, like, do I belong in this conversation? Why am I here? I don't have that, and it could be ignorance, it could be just knuckleheadedness, whatever. But even when we were in that setting, I remember us having a brief conversation about the belonging thing and a seat at the table. And so for people that are in a similar situation, right? There's a lot of people that we doubt ourselves for various reasons. We have imposter syndrome all the time.
Yep.
We don't know if we're qualified enough to even talk to somebody, right? How do you get through that? What's the magic to get through that, to get to where you are like today, right now? Like, how do you walk in to talk to your boss and say, I want more? Like, where does that come from?
Ooh, it took me a long time.
Talk a little bit about the journey to that too, like why you felt like maybe you were in that space and how you were able to get through that space.
So, and this is a vulnerable moment for me.
Okay.
So I felt like I was not worthy to be at those tables because I did not go to college.
Okay.
And that sat with me for a long time, and I just was not that student.
Sure.
Sure. College. My husband was a teacher for 25 years, and he always said, college is not for everybody.
True.
I went straight into the workforce, corporate.
Yeah.
I went straight into corporate.
Wow.
19 years old, I worked for insurance company, big insurance company here.
To me, that's more intimidating than, you know what I mean? You going in straight to corporate.
I went straight to corporate.
Wow.
Big, large company, started as a file clerk, worked my way up, was traveling all over the country, was there for almost 20 years. And But that still wasn't enough for what society was telling us back 15, 16 years ago, before I started at the Community Foundation. That job, the job that I had, was eliminated. The company had gone public. I got caught in a riff. About 350 of us were let go. And my husband at the time, he said, don't rush into anything. You know, figure out what your next move was. And I couldn't figure out what that next move was. So I tried, you know, little sales, and then I went into ad specialties, you know, promotional products. I did that for about 4 years. Was great at it, you know, found my niche, and then 2008, 2009, the economy tanked. And, you know, I had the insurance company I worked for, they were one of my biggest clients. You know, I was helping them do their logoed stuff for their big incentive trips. And at that point, you know, corporate was like, we got to pay people, so we can't buy the fun stuff. We got to pay people. And I found myself looking for a job, and it took me almost a year, again, because I didn't have a college degree. Started at the Community Foundation actually, when I started at the Community Foundation, they weren't sure what I was going to do, but I had several people in the community that advocated for me and called them, new people there, and they were like, we don't know what you're going to do, but we're hiring you because we've had a donor call, we've had, you know, somebody reach out to the senior team, and so I always sat, you know, I worked my way up to a supervisor, manager, then a director, and a philanthropic advisor. And, you know, still I was like, I'm still not worthy to be at those tables or to say anything. And then I think I started kind of coming out of that. I think it was after my mother passed again. And I feel like she is my guardian angel that's like, girl, get out there, put yourself out there. And then I just started putting myself out there, showing up as who I am. You know, I've worked at one company for almost 20 years. I've been at the Community Foundation almost 17 years. And it was a couple of like multimillionaires in this community that said, don't keep harping on you don't have that college degree, you know, because at this point in your life, that is not, I would never, now I push my daughter, I'm like, you going to college, you're not going to go
I'm not
through what
telling you not to.
Yes,
but,
I am not telling, I will tell every student, get that degree. I mean, I know, you know, there doesn't seem to be as much emphasis on it now, but I'm always going to tell the student, get that degree. But once I stopped telling that story in my head and just showing up like, I know just as much as the next person, or, you know, showing up and I just need to know a little bit more than, you know, somebody else that's in the room, or, you know, doing my research. So that is where, so I was telling myself for the longest, and other people were saying, no, you know, you do need to be at that table. You do need to be in those rooms. You do need to speak your voice. And I feel like it started coming to light before KCT, but then after KCT, it was really, I mean, even I still drink the Kool-Aid. I'm on the Alumni Association
We love
board,
it too,
and I'm still getting our group together. You know, I'm trying to get us together as much as possible, even if it's just 2 or 3 of us.
We love it.
We still getting together. But that is, I did have that. And I'm like, I don't deserve to be here, or I can't show up there. And now I'm just like, hey, I'm here.
Right. You're like, what's up? Like,
yes.
So I think, for me, one of the tangible tips that I could pull out of your story is, and I've talked about this in previous pods, but, you know, I don't think we could talk about it enough, how important it is to have good relationships.
Yeah, that is very important.
Because I feel like, you know, you just said it a few different ways. I mean, your push to be, you know, to join the Greater Kansas City Community Foundation was pushed by relationships that you had, right? They're advocating for you. And not only that, taking time to like explore like who you want to be and what you want to do is important as well. But getting over the understanding that you belong. You know what I mean? I heard this take, and it's funny because it's indirectly related to what we're talking about right now. A guy said, instead of the way that we currently run our politics, right? You pick a party, run, the side, run for office, whatever. He said, instead of that, treat it like jury duty, where everybody has to have the responsibility to play this. Not everybody. I mean, you get chosen, random selection. You get chosen to lead like a council or mayor or any of those things. And the pushback guy was like, but those people, like, you would have so many incompetent people in these positions. And the guy said, what do we have now? And he said he looked at it as a civic responsibility. But if you have these random selections, it would allow people, I mean, it kind of removes the veil of I don't belong here, and it puts you in a position where you have to.
Yeah.
You belong. You're here.
Yeah.
It's not a question of do you belong or not. It's you're here now. What do you do with it?
Right.
You know what I mean?
That part. Yeah.
And I felt like that for you, as you know, when we were in KCT. You know, that first couple of months, we were like, man, this is cool that we're here. Like, we're here.
Yeah.
Now what do we do with this?
What do we do with it after we've...
It ain't a point of do you belong. It's a point of your work is going to get you there, and now what happens afterwards. You know what I'm saying? And so I pulled a lot out of that tangible tip. And first of all, I appreciate you being candid and open with that.
And that was hard for me. That's a hard one for me.
You know, I resonate with that in so many ways, and I don't talk about this a lot. And because you're vulnerable, I'll be vulnerable too. But like yes, I have a degree. Yes, I went on to get my master's. But the road to get those things, I hate math. I was debilitated by math because of what happened when I was in elementary school, middle school, even up through high school. I never could get it. It just never made sense to me. It never made sense to me.
But you stuck with it.
Later, I finally conquered a fear. But it took a lot to get to that point. And I had this conversation with my wife, and I was like, man, like, I don't know how, I didn't finish my undergrad until after I was married. I didn't get my master's, obviously, until after, I had my first child. So when I was going through school, my wife was there. She would see me like going through and trying to figure out problems and all this other stuff. And I'm an adult. And she's like, now reflecting on it, she was like, you had it. Like, I don't know, I mean, yeah, it was tough, but you got through it. And, and for me, I was like sweating bullets.
And you could have quit.
Again.
Yeah.
I quit the first time. Me and Sherman started our business, and I blamed it on us starting our business, but I feel like internally it was probably because I was afraid that I was going to have to finish this math thing. Believe it or not.
Yes.
But crazy thing, you get through those moments, and now I'm teaching at a D1 university.
KU, Rock Chalk.
You go from barely being able to, I wasn't I wasn't the best student ever. I hated school. You know what I mean? Now I'm teaching that. But it gives me an opportunity to like pour into those kids, those young folks that maybe were like me too, and saw the struggle or felt the struggle of this. And so now I feel like it's my duty to like, I'm not I'm not coming at you hardcore. I'm coming at you as a hand holder. Like, how do we figure these things out? Now, it's going to be challenging.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it for you.
But I'm here to support you.
Because I understand.
Yeah. And you know what? You dropping something out for me. And you and I've had this conversation about the entrepreneurship journey.
Yeah.
And
Same.
we started this conversation about 2 years ago. Actually, it was January of 2024.
Yeah.
You and I were talking about it at Cafe Corazon in the Crossroads.
But this is the whole reason why we do this. This is the reason why this is around. Because I know that there's folks, we know that there's folks that are intimidated by these things, by the process. Don't know that there's resources out there. There's all kind of reasons. That's a part of the reason why we do the pitch competitions. Is not necessarily just, I mean, it is for our folks, but it's also for the public to come see, like, this is like an obtainable thing with people that you know that come from where you come from, right?
And that room was full. I turned around, I'm like, wow.
Yeah, and it's for that. Like, I can't tell you how many people that have joined our cohort after coming to a pitch competition. They'll apply afterwards. They'll apply afterwards, and say, and I was like, what drove you to? I came to a pitch competition and I saw such and such, and I saw it, and I've been trying. Open it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what I'm taking from it. I mean, just I need to just get out of my head and overcome my fear of being an entrepreneur.
It's not even overcoming. You won't overcome your fear.
True.
It's being debilitated by it. When you stop because of the fear. Yeah. That's what I did when I was with math. I stopped because of the fear. I was debilitated by it. Right? Until you get to a point where you understand that fear is going to, it's not going anywhere. So how do we push past it and not be debilitated by it and push?
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my fear, is I didn't want to step in the rooms because I didn't want to have to, when the question come up, where'd you go to school? Yep. I went to the School of Corporate America.
Yeah, and in a lot of ways, you get more experience through the corporate rank than you would in school.
And I have. I mean, my daughter comes to me. I have different people that come to me. Will you look at my resume?
Yeah.
Will you, you know, I do. And, sitting down, having conversations with, different folks. And
your stamp, the validity comes from the work. It's not about a person. It's not about what your past has shown. It's not about what credentials you can produce. It's about the work. And the older you get, the older we get, we understand that.
Yeah.
But when you're young, you feel like I don't need. Like me and my wife had this conversation all the time. Like when you're younger, you feel like I need this, I need that to be validated.
Yes.
And you don't.
Yeah.
And you don't. The older you get, you understand you don't need the validation.
Yeah. Well, and all the resources that are available. I mean, that's the other thing, not just with entrepreneurship, but just all the resources. I tell my husband all the time, I'm like, if I had known about the resources had been available when I was that age, I'm like, I'd be president. I say that all the time.
I'm like,
president, right?
I go to these schools and I see all these new developments. I'm like,
yes.
I went to Piper. I don't know if you've ever been over to KCK and Piper. Their school looks like Cerner.
Wow.
Like when I tell you, I walked in, they got a coffee, like a legit, not a coffee nook. They have a coffee shop, like a whole, and it's student run.
That is the part that,
I know.
Yes.
I was selling suckers out of my backpack. You know how much experience I would have been able to have if I was able to like actually run a
piece
shop.
Of gum?
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like and it's dope and it's great. But that's some part of the reason why I want to be a part of education, the systems, because I would have this conversation with some young folks and I'll say, don't forget this moment. Like this past year, they did, the e-scholars or the Kaufman program where they do the internship. I got the opportunity to go speak to some young folks. And we always say, I wish I would have had this when I was growing up. But then I think back on some of the opportunities I did get when I was growing up, and I say, so I don't want them to forget these opportunities that are presented to them, that they actually do get.
Yeah.
When we talk about financial management and literacy and all this other stuff, right? And he's like, I didn't get that when I was in school. But then you hear about some of these programs that these young people go through, and you're like, you're getting this.
Yeah.
Like I had this conversation with my son. This is what made me recognize, because my son had a whole financial planning class in high school.
Wow.
And I asked him, I was like, did you get any kind of, he's like, nah, I ain't learned nothing from. And I was like, well, what did you learn? And he started talking about like stocks and 401k. And I was like, you didn't learn what?
Yes.
I'm like, that's exactly, I said, don't overlook the things that you're actually getting. Like you're getting those things.
That's so important. Yes, that is so important.
And I forget sometimes some of the things
it's not the fun and sexy stuff, and that's what I think that's what, not just young adults or young people, it's all of us. If it's not fun and sexy, and that's why, the entrepreneur stuff, I'm like, okay, I can't be just about, creating a label and creating a fun brand. It's like there's some hard work that has to go into that, and I got to appreciate that part too.
And not, like I said, not being afraid of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Going through it, fearful and everything.
Yeah.
I feel like, I think, was it Mel Robbins that had the book, Let Them, or somebody had a book, Let Them.
Yep, I read that.
And it was like, but the other part of that is not let them, but like, do it anyway. There's another book called Do It Afraid, I think, too. I don't know who wrote that one.
I don't know about that one, but I did read the Let Them, Mel Robbins Let Them.
Yeah.
And you do have to, things that that are out of your control.
Yeah.
You just gotta, and I have felt that since I have started living that Let Them, and I know, there's some blowback now, but it has made my life a whole lot happier.
There's blowback?
Instead of trying to, just,
from the book or just,
just the whole Let Them, no, what if,
I got you.
somebody needs.
Everybody's going to nitpick something.
And that's kind of where I'm like, it has helped me. I will use my I statement. It has helped me, like in the kitchen. I used to be very, no, it needs to be done this way. And my daughter's like, I don't like to help you in the kitchen because everything has to be done a certain way. Yeah. And now I just have to, I'm like, let her do it. Yeah. Sometimes I'm like,
yeah.
But I'm like, just
absolutely.
let her do it.
Yeah.
Let my husband do it. I don't try
That's
to control
huge.
Things, and it has just made life so much easier.
Yeah. No, I feel that, and I know we could keep rocking on that tangible tip forever. But I want to end. So we're going to get close to ending, because a lot of the questions that I had were actually baked into. We talk about entrepreneurship. We talked about success and failure. But I want to kind of wrap this up with what's LaVon's why? Why was it important to be at the table? Why did you feel like there was a need to have these things aligned before you could do something else, right? Like we talk about college or having a degree and whatnot. Like, what does all this lead to? What is your why?
My why is I love being an example, more so for kids. And I always say that how I move around in our community and in the ecosystem is for the babies. And, now I've moved around the ecosystem for my child, but now, being a grandmother, I'm telling you, being a grandma is a whole different vibe. Did not know what I was in for.
Yeah.
But making sure that all of our kids know that they have an opportunity and that they can have a seat at the table. And not allowing what your past has done. I mean, I could have always gone to college.
Sure.
You know, and you know, that wouldn't have been, but that just was not in the cards for me. And you know, it just was not. It was not for me. And I know that there are other, you know, kids out there
100%.
that, you know, that is not in the cards
100%.
for them. But to know if you work hard, you go into an organization, you might start at the bottom. Don't go in there thinking that you're going to start at the top. But if you go in there and you start and you show them you're respectful, you work hard, you know, sometimes you go that extra mile.
Creating relationships. Yeah.
Yes, that part. Yeah. It is all about relationships. And I say, you know, I'm all about relationships opposed to transactional.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I feel like we are in a society that is very transactional. So my why is just to be an example for not just the next generation, but you know, anybody who I'm in relationship with. Just
that's heavy though.
Yeah.
Think about how heavy that is. It's heavy for your why to be an example for others. Because what does that mean for you?
It means that I need to show up and like I'm
know.
positive. You know, I need to show up. I need to
What does show up
lead.
mean?
I need to lead in a good way. Sometimes it's hard for me to articulate what that looks like. Again, I'm going to go back to, you know, just bringing joy. And not everybody wants LaVon. I'm not going to be for everybody.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I'm still going to show up the way I show up.
Yeah. No, I feel it.
You know, at the grocery store, if the cashier's having a bad day, I'm like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
You know, and they're like, okay, you're a little bit too chipper.
Right.
You know, that's not going to stop me.
But you like, take some of that.
Yeah. I mean, I think
Yeah.
if a little bit of that rubs off on somebody else, like,
Yeah.
you know, why is she so happy? Just life.
Yeah.
I'm on the right side of the dirt this
feel that.
morning. I don't know. Does that answer?
Yeah.
I know that is. I mean, you're right. You know, being a great example, and you know, always I can't be going in and you know networking and. I mean, even when I have those uncomfortable conversations, I try to do it in a kind way. You know, I know sometimes, and I'm just gonna say it. You know, we get categorized as the angry black woman, and I don't want that to ever, and I don't think I've ever given anyone a reason to say, you know, I'm gonna speak my truth. You know, I'm gonna tell you how I feel, but I'm gonna do it in a kind way. And
because we're human, it's respectful.
But I feel like a lot of that is lost now. I mean, you talked about politics.
Yeah.
You know, some of the people leading our wherever and the way they behave, and it's like that is not. You know, you talk about being Christian, you know, what would Jesus do? Is that how Jesus would act?
WWJD.
Look, we're going to have some church.
Remember those little wristbands that we used to wear?
They need to bring those back.
I know, right?
They need to bring those back. But, I mean, just whatever in the universe you follow.
Yeah.
It's just, and I go back to, again, I start my morning with prayer.
Yeah.
Somebody just sent me a message the other day and said, you are that woman that when you open your eyes, the devil says, oh shit, she's awake. I'm sorry about that.
No, you're good.
But yeah, she's awake because I am. I'm gonna bring the positive energy even when I'm having a bad day.
I love it. Well, LaVon, I know we could
Oh yeah, you
talk forever.
Talk for hours.
but I appreciate you taking some time just to come chat. I'm inspired by you. I know a lot of
you.
others will be inspired by you as well. Appreciate you rocking with us.
Always.
You know what I'm saying?
That is, my thing is, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but
No,
my
you're fine.
dream is to see everybody succeed.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
That is part of my purpose is I want everybody to succeed.
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
And whatever
right.
I can do to make that happen.
Let's get up out of here. I know it feels good out here,
It
but
does.
you
The
know,
sun is shining and
it is. It definitely is.
yes. It was the blue and the greenhouse behind us.
I know, right? I hope, it's a little different because we facing, the cameras are facing the sun, so I don't know. We'll see.
And I'm liking that blue jacket. The blue and the green. Come on.
None of it is
Come on,
intentional.
GQ.
None of it's intentional. I just saw something and was like, I'm going to throw this on.
Look, you always fly.
It's comfortable and
always.
It wasn't too cold out. I had a coat on. I was like, I ain't wearing no coat.
Always fly.
Anyway, that's all I got to say. Make it a good day. How? See you soon. Sick. I'm out. Anyway, keep up the good work. Anyway, back to work. So, anyway, make it a great Tuesday. How? Anyway, I'll let your boy, Dan Smith, Waterhouse KC, represent Boo Boo.